Go ahead with college photographer of the year. Um, find the entry here. The portfolio must include one news picture, one picture story, and pictures from at least two other categories. They're limited to 15 entries, with a picture story counting as one entry, and a total of 30 images. So these are all college students.
One single and one story has to be.
One news,
Oh, okay,
one story, and at least two other categories.
got it.
So this is the first one. Next one. Nope. Next one. Next one. And the last one. So I'll start back at the top and we'll go through and do ins and outs. But since these are students, before I move to the next portfolio, if you judges could provide just any sort of brief commentary about the portfolio, critique, that kind of thing, that would probably benefit the students quite a bit.
A lot of the singles in this portfolio have very little context to them. There's some that are, aesthetically pleasing, but I would encourage the student to not be afraid to think in layers and look for the relevance beyond just that tight frame on some of these. There's some clear understanding of light and things like that, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to maximize that. And there's also I think there's some that are just much weaker singles, and it's just always good to remember for all of us that your portfolio is only as strong as your weakest image. So don't fill up a portfolio or the number of frames just because you have to, or you have a number, just really edit it down and talk to somebody that can help you edit, because none of us are good at self-editing.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple images here, like, which was, I couldn't figure out at first, the one where the guy is getting cake smeared on his head. That's a nice layering for the picture. Makes you feel like you're there, and you have, he's framed well in between them. There's an action, there's reaction in the back. It's nicely done. There's beautiful light in the one next to it with the guy in the woods. But like you're saying, some of the detail of the buttons and the mask, those I could see living without, and just watching out, because like there's just not enough there as a single picture, like you're saying. It works in a package if you had a package or a story, but not by itself. So you're getting there as far as, like I said, those couple frames. You just keep working on it.
I think this photographer has a really good sense of light, and that's something that person can build on. There's several nice images, especially in the first row, and I do like the first image in the second row of the young girl. I think they need to watch their toning on the story that they did. There's some nice images, but some of the execution on the toning end left it a little bit to be desired.
It's a lot of fluorescent lighting situations. So
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and just to echo that, I think that would, consistency in toning more than anything else, in that, and especially in a story, so it all has the same feel.
Yep.
Or if it's toned differently, it's done intentionally.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next portfolio. We can just keep all the, since there's only 5 of them, we can just keep the tabs up, and we'll just move those in the order we want once we get through them all.
I think this photographer is, able to shoot sports.
Yeah.
The layup picture, the wide shot is a nice shot. The passing incomplete as well, and the other overthrown. They're seem like they're a stronger sports shooter than they are, working with the feature sort of stuff. But I think that, they're seeing the moment as it happens. They're able to catch it. They just have to work on that a little bit more with the other things. Let me see, it's hard. This good blood. Like, just be aware of like subject awareness of you as well. Like in the story, the one with the eye in the middle, I think, like the woman in the blue coats laughing at towards the photographer, felt like, or staring over there. Just noticing things like that, and you cropping her out or something.
Same with the frame before it, waiting for the moment, not just saying, okay, I have to have this and I have to have this. Work each situation so you have the best photo possible out of it.
And I feel like
that concert photo too. I think it's pretty cool.
I think this photographer is, yeah, I like the concert photo. It's just a funny photo, but I think this photographer is really comfortable working in well-lit situations and may struggle in some of the more challenging lighting scenarios, like this entire Blink Festival or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I would, I think the number 3 in the Blink Festival, the one that you were talking about, the lady in the blue jacket, I think that's really nice in terms of finding the scene, waiting for your subjects to interact with it and kind of have the silhouettes and the shadows and everything lined up the way you want it. And I think that's a really important thing to think about when there are challenging lighting scenarios. Look for where the light is and find your frame and let somebody interact with that frame rather than some of these feel like they were forced.
Yeah, I would rather you have fewer pictures, but that are better than have a bunch of them for the sake of having them.
Here's the next one. I can make them a little bit bigger.
Are we discussing any positions that we're
You
picking?
can, I mean, since there's only 5, if you want to move one to the front or move them around as you talk about them, by all means.
To me, this is the one that I like the most out of the bunch.
Me too.
I
Yep.
feel like the photographer really understands lighting and framing and toning and lensing.
Storytelling.
Yeah, I think they're on a good track. Even like we said, the graveyard photo and stuff. It's just they know how to get the photos. They just have to work on, with their captioning and things like that. But I love the details and there's all the guns on the wall and the pictures. And
Mhm.
I'm not usually a fan for vertical pictures that often, but I like the church one of the 2 kids
Do you?
feeling.
Why do you like that?
It's a small town sort of feeling. I don't know, this like they don't really want to be doing what they're doing. I don't know. It's something about it. I like it with the story as a single image outside of the story. I wouldn't put it in there, but I like the awkwardness of it.
I like them. I don't like the framing of it.
I think
But
that's why I like it, because it isn't perfect. And, sometimes it's okay to not have everything so technical. If it has an emotion that it pushes forward, it just shows me some of the character, I guess, of that town. That's why I like it. Because I
It
don't.
totally says small town to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're asked to stand there, but they're not posing in a way that's perfect.
Right.
They're kids. I mean, the way her skirt's kind of
Mhm.
bunched up, and I like the image as part of the story for sure.
I don't care so much for the other one, the number 4, where the vertical was just the crop into. It feels too.
Yeah.
It's too narrow and just
and
needs.
that's maybe what I see with the other one a little bit and it feels like this photographer has the ability to like compose and do some really nice framing and really thoughtful framing. And I feel like a couple of those, especially in that second story,
Mhm.
and maybe there were kind of sudden moments or something. I understand that, but it feels like it doesn't have the same thoughtful composition that some of the other ones do. And that kind of, not that I still think this is the best student portfolio, but I would definitely say just always be, photograph and compose with a purpose, and also crop with a purpose.
Yeah, because even the firefighter, although a static picture, it's layered well, and the frame is filled with the guy in the ladder down at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's just graphically pleasing. Um, even the dude with the shirt off that's waving the flag, and the people are sort of reacting to him. So it's this loose moment, but it still has I still like it.
Okay.
That to me, like I said, this one is my first place.
I did want to see the fourth portfolio we saw also,
Mm-hmm.
because that one also stood out to me.
See, this one, the thing I didn't like is they duplicate the same picture.
I saw that.
So that threw me off on this, but
I thought there were a lot of nice pictures in here, though. But I'm comfortable with what we have for first. Maybe this would be a good second.
Okay.
yeah.
The only other one we haven't looked at was this.
To me, I would say with this one, for the photographer, just to, find a story, find another story. Like this story here is a little too many photos in it, and too many that feel exactly the same. And so the editing to make it tighter, because there's a lot of them where there's the big open ceiling.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily know what the story is.
It feels like the photographer, is a little uncomfortable in terms of getting in front of people and getting. It feels more like we're just there in that story along for the tour and taking pictures of the rest of the tour group rather than actually documenting whatever actually is happening, which I have no idea.
Yeah, there are a couple of nice sports images, though. I mean, the girls together and the end of career, the backboard cam picture is nice. The kids with the mascot, the commencement's a cute little moment. Just working on lensing a little better. But there are definitely some signs of, seeing things like the girl on the floor with a flower in her hand as well. Just like that sort of detail is nice. You don't have to show the whole scene. I like that, the seeing of the photographer in that.
So would we move this into a third place, or this is?
I would not.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Because that story, it's sort of like the other ones we talked about for sports.
Did you want to give anything more than just the top one?
I think we're going second on the
This
next
is
one.
second, okay. Thinking this is third. Or just one, two. Anything beyond one is up to you guys.
I like number 2 for second.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys live with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to do a third, honestly. But that's up to you guys. I just feel like the first two stand out way more.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
So just so we have it down, this is, everybody vote yes if this is your first place. Then for second place, and then these three would be out, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. All right. Thank you very much. I know students will greatly appreciate the feedback.